Well, Dr. Frank Leon Roberts is the founder of the Black Lives Matter syllabus at New York University. He joins us now by Skype from New York. Sir, thank you so much for joining us here on Al Jazeera. We just heard from our correspondent there in Tulsa about the preparations for this rally. Obviously, as we were explaining to our international viewers, Tulsa has a very particular history of racial violence. How do you interpret the fact that the president chooses Tulsa, of all places, to hold his first rally since the pandemic?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me and happy Juneteenth weekend. Donald Trump understands that white nationalism cannot survive without a black enemy to position itself against. And so this rally in Tulsa is in many ways an attempt to position what many would call a white nationalist Make America Great Again movement against what is clearly a rising black freedom, black protest movement happening in the streets of America today. And so Donald Trump understands that, because if nothing else, Donald Trump is a master of metaphor and symbolism. So by symbolically having a rally on the very weekend of Juneteenth, this is symbolically an attack on the very principles of black freedom that the Juneteenth holiday represents. And I think that that's intentional.
I mean, you say it's intentional. Do you think, I mean, I don't know whether he ever tried to get the black vote in the United States, but do you think that President Trump has, assuming that he tried, kind of given up on that?
Absolutely. I think that Donald Trump and the Republican Party more broadly have long given up on actually having black voters as constituents. They are interested, however, in using black people and black issues as props, as mobilizing issues to mobilize a largely white working class base. And so that's what this is. This is not about speaking to black people. This is about using black people as a way of actually inciting his base. And so I think that's what's going on this weekend and today in Tulsa.
We introduced you as the founder of the Black Lives Matter syllabus at New York University, and I think it's one of the first of its kind, isn't it, trying to explain the movement and, I guess, of course, the history of African Americans in the United States. Tell us a little bit more about that, and especially because of Tulsa, because of its historical significance, just how important you think that knowing the historical facts is for both black and whites in the United States.
Absolutely. So the Black Lives Matter syllabus is a national grassroots organizing campaign that emphasizes the relationship between radical organizing and radical studying. All that means is that essentially, if you want to be a good protester or a good organizer, you have to be a good student of history. And to your point, it's very important for us to understand how when we see rallies taking place in these historical sites like Tulsa, it is not by accident. It's a part of a long playbook by the Republicans that really begins with the Nixon administration of really trying to use black issues, black social justice issues, as a wedge issue for white working class voters. The Republican Party has been doing this, again, for decades, but Donald Trump has based his entire presidency on this. I also just want to say this. I think it's important for us to understand that this rally is also an act of desperation. Donald Trump is an American president in peril. And this is a presidency that may very well be on its dying leg. And this is a movement, the Make America Great Again movement, that may very well be on its dying leg. And so this rally is above all an attempt to breathe life into a dying presidency and a dying white nationalist movement.
So I don't want to put words into your mouth, but you seem to be quite optimistic that this very divisive president, and I guess, you know, the weeks of protests, of historic protests that we've seen in the U.S., do you think it's a turning point for the better when it comes to race relations?
I only have hope in young black people, because historically they have been the constituency to pave the way and to keep their eyes stayed on freedom. So I'm hopeful that they're going to continue to do that. Now, in terms of America at large, I do think we're in a turning point. I think that this is a moment that I think Americans are starting to understand that we're not going to get another opportunity to get this right. And so it's now or never. But ultimately, to be honest, none of us will know until November. This is all about what happens in November will tell us whether or not we have to deal with 4 more years of a Trump presidency, or if we can begin to at least shift to have a conversation about how to actually make America great for all people, not just a white nationalist chosen few.
Yeah, looking forward to November. It has been an incredibly eventful election year, that's for certain. Dr. Frank Leon Roberts, founder of the Black Lives Matter syllabus at New York University. Sir, so thank you so much for sharing your views with us. Thank you.
Thank you.